All right, so it's time for the Premier League prediction. Let's talk about it now. Um, it's match day 4, yeah, and a lot of things have happened. So many red cards, so many yellow cards, a lot of added minutes. I feel like the first half nowadays is 50 minutes, and the second half goes up to 100 minutes because of time wasting and the new regulations. And we are seeing a lot of penalties. The game is changing, but one thing remains the same, our style of predicting. Yeah. So let's predict the games in the Premier League this weekend. Wow. Too many games, and these days in the Premier League, you don't have easy rides anymore. You can
Yeah.
see the so-called mid-table teams when they play, it's still a big game. And then when you see the bigger boys play, it's still a big game. So there's no little team anymore as they used to be many years ago. So let's start on Saturday, the first game, Sheffield United versus Everton. Bro,
Everton don't seem to score without Calvin Lewin playing, so I'll go for Sheffield. They are yet to win a game, but they scored a goal against Manchester City. So very slim victory, 1-0 Sheffield.
1-0 Sheffield.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I'll go for 2-1 Sheffield United.
Okay.
Yeah, 2-1 Sheffield United. And then the next one, we've got Brentford versus AFC Bournemouth. Two sides who are very good when it comes to attacking. They know how to keep the ball and play. They've got very intelligent coaches. They have been doing well this season, but results haven't gone the way of Bournemouth. But Brentford, first game against Tottenham, they played a 2-2 draw. And then they went, I think, to Wolves and they beat Wolves. Was it? I think, is it Wolves or Aston Villa? Who did they beat 4-1?
I can't remember honestly.
Okay. But I know they picked up a win, and then their next game at home against Crystal Palace.
Draw against Crystal Palace, yeah.
So, what do you think about that game?
Very tricky game. Bournemouth, like you said, they're playing well, but they don't seem to be getting the results. I think their new manager is still trying to settle in very well. So Sheffield, what's it called? Brentford look like the more established team here, so I'll go for Brentford. But I think Bournemouth can still score. So 2-1 in favor of Brentford for me.
Okay, let's go down to the next one now. Vincent Company's Burnley looking for their first win at home in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Play a very, very much informed Tottenham side, man. These guys are
Yeah.
blazing, man. It's like when Harry Kane left, he left with all their problems. The way they pass the ball, the way they play. People try to make some banter out of their new coach, Ange Postecoglou. Some were saying poster with no clear glue. Just trying to give him some awful names, but you can't deny the fact that the guy is doing some work. I know it's normal in football when you have a new manager. That's what they call a new manager bounce.
Manager bounce, of course.
Teams tend to respond, you know, sometimes it might not be responding to what the coach is saying, but just the joy of having a new coach and just that euphoria around for that period of time. But we need to give them some time before we can judge properly. But judging by what we are seeing right now, they are playing the ball well. I can't remember the last time I saw Tottenham play this kind of football
Yeah.
since they had Mourinho and Conte playing some sort of haram style of football. But
Yeah.
right now, with Bissouma, Sa in the midfield, James Madison, they are really, really doing well. It's just so bad that they've got Son, Madison. The only son that's not doing well is Richarlison. So, but they are without Richarlison, they're doing well. So imagine if Richarlison picks up and starts banging in goals, they'll be really unstoppable because their defense has been really, really disciplined this season. And their goalkeeper, the first game, he was a bit of a suspect, but the guy is doing well now. So I will go for a 2-1 win for Tottenham. How about you?
Just like you say, Tottenham are doing well at the moment. I think their manager is actually a good manager, so they play good football. But can they sustain these stats where I have a problem? I don't think they have enough to sustain what they are doing for a very long time. And Burnley as well, new back to the Premier League, two teams that played expansive football. So
Yeah.
I expect goals from both teams. But Tottenham I feel like they are the most informed team at the moment, the more informed team between these two teams. So I will agree with you. I'll go for a 2-1 victory in favor of Tottenham, even if I really don't want them to win. Imagine wishing Tottenham will. How?
Okay, we seem to be having loads of 2-1s, 2-1s around, but well, it's how the game goes these days. The next one now, well, a newly bought Chelsea side. I have to use that word bought because they keep buying loads of players. Sometimes I look at Chelsea and what I think is, how many Travis Scott have they got? A lot of players coming off the salon with new hairstyles and everything. But yeah, Chelsea and all their Travis Scott's doing well. Enzo finally, commanding the midfield, and Caicedo, who is there to make his mama proud, had a great game when they defeated Luton Town. Raheem Sterling finally has lived up to the expectation of his name, and the Sterling now has a lot of value. It's no longer diminishing. Yeah. He scored a brace. And then Michael Jackson from Gambia. Jackson getting a goal there. Chelsea are looking exciting right now. And it's another game at home in Stamford Bridge. But they're playing against a team that's got one man that can't stop scoring. That is Nottingham Forest with Taiwo Awoniyi. What's your prediction for that?
I think Nottingham Forest can be a bit resilient sometimes, but Chelsea will be too much for them. Just like you said, Chelsea at the moment, they're looking good, they're looking comfortable. Raheem Sterling is beginning to get back to his best. Michael Jackson has scored, so that's a big positive. Enzo seems to be a bit more comfortable playing alongside the likes of Caicedo. So, and they're playing at Stamford Bridge, so I feel like Chelsea will be too much for Nottingham Forest. So even if there's an Awoniyi threat there, I will go with Chelsea. So 3-1 in favor of Chelsea for me.
Well, yeah, I can't see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against Awoniyi, but yeah, maybe that's the sentiment in me. But I would go with a 2-1 still. I feel like there will be more discipline in the defense this time. So I'll just go with a 2-1 for Chelsea. And in case you hear us say Michael Jackson, we're not talking about the singer. His name isn't actually Michael Jackson, the player for Chelsea, but I mean, with my big mouth, I just like to give people names like that. You understand? All right, next one now. Let's see if Arteta's boss would help him, revenge, give him vengeance over Fulham. Manchester City versus Fulham. Fulham, they've been doing well this season, even after losing Alexander Mitrovic to the Saudi League. They managed to pick up a point at Arsenal, even with the man down, and they are playing brilliant football. Of course, they've got a fantastic coach in Marco Silva. Have you ever seen Marco Silva smile?
Nah, very difficult.
I feel like that guy was born on World Anger Day.
Whatever his team does is always not enough. So Marco Silva smile, don't even expect it. Just forget about it.
Well, good news for him. He wouldn't be smiling when he goes to the Etihad, man, facing Haaland and all of them. So what's your prediction for this one?
Straight victory for me, City. As much as I would like to see Fulham take a point off City, I don't think it's possible. City are looking very comfortable this early part of the season. I feel like though last season when these two teams met, it was very difficult for City until a late penalty thereabout.
And Alvarez,
I think
away.
But this time around, City look like they understand what to do. They don't necessarily need to have 95% ball possession, so they just and they are playing at home at the Etihad. Man, it's straight victory for okay, 2-0. Let me not go too far. 2-0.
2-0. I looked at it, and in as much as they played well at the Emirates, Arsenal still managed to have the ball, and if not for some misunderstandings, they could have scored up to 5 goals in that game, Arsenal. So I would say a 4-0 win for Man City, comfortable victory for them.
Okay.
Next one, I like to call them Brighton unique in the way they play. Brighton and Hove Albion. They'll be playing the small boys who can't wait to be big boys, Newcastle. Brighton versus Newcastle, a big game, and both sides are heartbroken from their last game. Brighton were doing well at the start of the season, but their last game they lost, I think, 3 or 4-1 at home to Wolves, and then
was it to West Ham, not Wolves?
West Ham.
Brighton lost to West Ham. Yeah.
They lost to West Ham. Yeah. How would I forget that game? James Ward-Prowse. And then Newcastle, with all their complete players on the pitch, they still managed to lose to Darwin Nunez and Liverpool. So it's two teams who are angry right now, and it's going to be a crack at that game. I would love to watch it. So Newcastle, Brighton hosting Newcastle at the Amex. What's your prediction?
Tricky game. Like you said, two teams who lost their last games, and they will definitely want to come back. So expect Brighton to play beautiful football like they've always done. But I think Newcastle, on the other hand, will be very angry with themselves. Losing 2-1 to Liverpool at home when they were 1-0 up, and you would expect them to take advantage of that. I feel like they'll be very aggressive in their next game against a Brighton side that like to play a beautiful brand of football. So I will stick with Newcastle. 2-1 in favor of Newcastle. I just feel like teams like Newcastle understand how Brighton play. They will probably allow Brighton to have the ball, but they will play through them, probably long balls to their forwards, and take advantage of that. So 2-1 in favor of Newcastle.
Well, this will be my first draw. I'll go with a 1-1 draw because I feel like both sides will try to apply caution. I know they can be very expressive in their football, but it's not easy, playing your first game after a bad game like that. So they'll try to be very, very cautious. So I see a draw in that game. And then on Sunday, we have Crystal Palace versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. How do you see this one going?
I think I should just go all out for Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace are very tough at home, very difficult to beat. Wolves, on the other hand, don't seem to score goals. That's where their problem is. Sometimes they can play good football from defense to midfield, but they don't seem to score goals. And with the news coming out that Martin Nunes will probably be leaving Wolves to join Manchester City, and I think he was red carded against, was it Manchester United? I don't know, their last game. He got a red and he's just suspended, so he won't even play, which will make it more difficult for Wolves. I don't really see how they're going to create chances. So I will go all out for Crystal Palace. 2-0 in favor of Crystal Palace would be my prediction.
Surprisingly, I'm going with a draw still for this one, and I'm going with a goalless draw. Goalless draw for this one. Yeah, I see it that way. So Aston Villa versus Liverpool hosting Aston Villa.
That game. Aston Villa versus, first thing I'm very sure of is goals. There will definitely be goals from both teams. Aston Villa, I don't think they are that formidable at the back. Yeah, they have good players, good defenders, but against a Liverpool team that can score every single team in this world. So I think Liverpool will score. Liverpool, on the other hand, with Van Dijk out, their defensive units don't look formidable as well. So Aston Villa will definitely find a way to score. At the end of the day, it might be the team that will score more goals. So if Liverpool can put their hearts together and win away to Newcastle, I don't see why they can't win against Aston Villa. So 3-2 in favor of Liverpool.
Okay. Well, Liverpool last season, we saw them having beautiful games like the one they had against Newcastle, and you expect them to pick it up from there. And the next thing, they just fall. Let's see how it goes this time. But I'm more confident that the mentality monsters are around, and the mentality monsters are ready to destroy any team. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll give them to keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. I believe that. So I'll say 2-0 win to Liverpool. Then your team, Arsenal, host Man United at the Emirates Stadium.
Where do I start from? An Arsenal versus Manchester United game is always one of the biggest game in the league. It doesn't matter who is playing well. It comes with lots of pride. So the two teams want to play for pride because it comes with banter as well. So at a time where Arsenal just didn't get the necessary 3 points against Fulham, they will be doing everything possible, because a bad result against Manchester United, there will be a huge meltdown. So I think Arsenal will push, but which team will Arteta put out there? It's another thing. There's a little bit of an uncertainty at the moment, so you can't tell. Manchester United, on the other hand, picked up a victory against Nottingham Forest. They want to build on that. So, man, there'll be fireworks at the Emirates. But who am I to predict against the almighty Arsenal? So, I will think 2-1 in favor of Arsenal will be my pick for the day. I'm not 100% convinced, but it's difficult to look beyond that result. So I'll go for a 2-1 victory in favor.
So you're going for a 2-1 victory for Arsenal. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you for putting the 2-1, because they don't seem to keep a clean sheet when they play at the Emirates Stadium anymore. It's like it's a free for all. Just come score against us, especially in the first minute. It's gonna be a tough one, though. Really, really tough one. And I don't know, with Arsenal now, I don't know what team is going to come out that day. I don't know what to expect, but I sense another draw. I sense a draw. Maybe a 1-1 draw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's it for now. Let's see how it goes. And if you want to gamble or place a bet based on these predictions, well, do that on your own accord. If you win, we'll take the credit. If you don't win, please.
I mean, that's my personal prediction. Please do it on your own accord. Please, please, please.
When we started, I thought with your bandana, you're like a hard man. But yeah, if you're going to gamble safely and responsibly, okay? We'll set it up. All right. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys.